I'm Warren Yates at yatesbanjos.com. Today we're going to talk about how to set the bridge in the right position on your banjo. When setting a bridge, you have to think about what happens with the scale. And the scale halfway is your 12th fret. So you want equal distance between the nut and the 12th fret as you do from the 12th fret to the bridge. One way we do that is we chime a string. By chiming a string, we're placing our finger just slightly on the string, hitting the string, and then quickly turning loose to let the harmonics ring from one side to another. Okay, I hear that note. What I'm trying to do now is compare that to the same spot fretted. Chime, fretted. Okay, so on the first string, I try to get that one as exact as I possibly can by ear. Now, the next thing I'll do is go over to the third string, and I'll chime it. Then I'll fret it, and I'll expect the fretted one to be just a little bit sharp. First string. So you can see the third string is going to be a little bit sharp. Now, you don't really have to go and use compensated bridges and stuff like that because it's just not necessary. The further you get towards the pot, the less you use that third string anyway, so it just doesn't seem to be a problem. So, but if I know that I'm sharp, then I know at least I'm in the right direction of being able to be set up right. Okay. Of course, you want to make sure your banjo is in tune, and that's close. So I'll compare. So I didn't hear it to be dead perfect, but I want to make sure that I've got something else to double check what I'm trying to do. Okay, as I get down here, I realize I'm starting to get sharp the further I go. So if I get sharp, it means that my bridge is too close to the neck. So I can move the bridge away from it to get that to start working. So I'm not going to move it much. And then we'll see what happens. And the other thing is, make sure anytime you make a movement, make sure that the bridge is completely square to the strings. Okay, so let's try it again. Making sure I'm in tune. Much better. Okay, I still am close. A little bit sharp, so I know I'm in the right place. Now we're going to fine tune it. What I like to do is go over to the second string, 12th fret, and then move down to that next inlay. So that'd be 12, 13, 14, 15th fret. And what I'll do is I'll mash it down, play it, then turn it loose. And I want to see how much ring out that I get in order to make the sound go down into the banjo and then come out of the banjo and up into the rest of the strings. So I know it should ring out a lot more than that. So I'll move the bridge a little bit and see if I can bring that out stronger. I didn't move much, just enough I could feel motion. Okay, a little bit more came out. And it'll open the whole banjo up when you do that. Now, at this point, rather than going through everything to get it just absolutely perfect, I want to introduce you to the man that taught me this technique. And no matter how well I think I've got a banjo set up, I can still set it up and hand it to him, and he'll bring the rest of it out. So you might all know him as Banjo Man. He's also Donnie Little, but you'll be seeing a lot more of him. So Donnie, let's take it from here, and you do some final setup and see what you can bring out to make that banjo really perform.
Just a little bit sharp.
Okay.
Now what I do usually, I get my banjo bridge where I want it first. And then I'll, you talking about that note on the 15th fret a while ago? Well, see, that's not sustaining on out there long enough, what I call it. And that's when I'll adjust the coordinator rods just a little bit, not much. But what I was going to say, we're going to make sure we get the bridge at the right place first. That's just a little bit sharp, so I'm going to back it up just to maybe a 30 seconds, is what it sounds to me like. It's about all it needs. And another thing you can do is take an old roller, carpenter's roller. And I found out over the years, like I said, you measure this scale from the nut to the 12th fret, that's 13 1/8 exactly. If you add about a 30 seconds past that to the front of the bridge, that's usually in the ballpark.
Right,
So that'd be
and that'll vary depending on the scale.
See what I'm saying right here? We got 13 3/16 at the front of that bridge.
Right.
And so normally that, about every banjo's that way. That is if you're 3/16 of an inch off the fingerboard at the last fret. Now see, that's the same note. It's not got that ring.
Right, it doesn't quite.
That's sustained. So what I do, I just take a wrench and go inside your banjo pot on the top coordinator rod or the bottom of either one, and just put just a little pressure on one or the other. Now see, I never moved it maybe an eighth of a turn, just a little bit.
Not even that much.
Yeah. See, that's getting better.
Starting to come out.
And so I'll go on the other side just a little bit. You hear that?
But we're talking very small increments. You don't want to bind the pot up.
Right. You don't want to change your string action from what we're doing.
That rings out a long time.
And what I found out over the years of working on banjos, it's not really the second string that's doing that sustain. It's the other three strings on top mostly, and the first string on the bottom. So if I hit, see, that's a D string right there, a D.
Yeah.
So when you just sort of hit the two, you can kill
all the strings.
All the strings but that one.
Except the one you made the sound with.
And when you go to a G, that's picking up your G harmonics. The same way.
Right. And you never touch the string that you made the sound with. It's the other string.
But it'll sit there and sustain all day long. Just listen.
That's right.
But another way you can set your bridge is like on a tuner. You can set like your D string at a D, exactly right on D, and then chime it on and make sure it's D. And then when you note it on D, well, see, if it's above D, you move it back toward the tailpiece. Or if it's flat, you come up toward the fingerboard like you said a while ago.
Right. That way, if you can't hear it, you've got something that you can physically read.
But that sounds pretty good right there. And always make sure that the feet on the bridge is real straight too. It seems like we got this in here just to back just a little bit. If you get everything in line, where everything just lines up good, it'll ring better too. See? That helped it.
It's amazing the difference, how big it can be over something that just doesn't seem like it's
and then when you do little songs like Sally Ann, that's what we always check a banjo. Most of it, like where your banjo is sustain out when you do this. See what I'm saying? It'll give your banjo more of a bass too when you do this.
Right, everything works together and agrees.
That's what I call us breathing right now.
Yes.
what I'm saying?
Right. I can feel it pop my ears. It's like my eardrums are being pumped or something, because when it all comes together, you can actually feel it.
But you'll always find out that when you measure that bridge, it'll always be like a 30 seconds longer
Right.
to the front of the bridge. So a lot of times if you don't want to do it by ear, that gets you about 99% right. That's it.
Yep. Well, that's it. So I hope that helped you to be able to understand a little bit more about the setup and the way a bridge should be set, and just a little fine-tuned things. And I want to thank Donnie for coming in and helping with that.
You're quite welcome.
He's much more smooth at being able to pull that off than I am. So until next time, keep picking and work on your banjo, but don't destroy anything.
That's right.
Get more than Yates at yatesbanjos.com.